What if one conscious breath could heal your stress and bring stillness to your mind? In today's world, people run faster than ever before but carry invisible storms inside. Anxiety, restlessness, sleepless nights. We try to calm them with medicine, noise, or distractions, yet the mind remains restless. Ancient yogis whispered a different truth. Peace begins with your breath. This is Kriya Yoga, a sacred science that turns breath into medicine and silence into light. The modern storm. Every morning the world wakes up to urgency. Phones vibrate, deadlines appear, minds chase the next task. Breathing becomes quick and shallow. Science confirms what the ancients knew. When breath is shallow, the body moves into survival. Cortisol floods the bloodstream. The heart beats faster, digestion stops, sleep becomes broken. Once danger was a tiger. Today, danger is an email, a thought, a memory. Every emotion has its rhythm of breath. Anger burns hot and sharp. Sadness feels heavy and slow. Calm flows like a gentle stream. Kriya Yoga says that to change emotion, change the breath. It is a bridge from chaos to clarity. The ancient science of breath. In Sanskrit, the word prana means the living energy that flows through all creation. The air you breathe is only its outer layer. Prana moves through thousands of channels inside the body called nadis. When these are open, life feels clear. When blocked, confusion and fatigue appear. Lahiri Mahasaya said, "The breath is the sacred bridge between body and soul. If you cross it with awareness, peace will greet you on the other side." Kriya Yoga is not about belief or religion. It is a practical inner technology. Each gentle cycle of breath and Kriya balances the nervous system, quiets the heart, and steadies the wandering mind. Modern medicine now sees the same results. Controlled breathing activates the parasympathetic system, releases serotonin, and restores natural calm. When you breathe deeply, you tell every cell that life is safe again. How Kriya Yoga calms the mind. Close your eyes now and simply notice the air moving in and out. The mind begins to slow. In that stillness, awareness transforms breath, and breath transforms awareness. As breathing deepens, the brain slips into alpha waves, the creative rhythm between waking and dreaming. In that space, intuition and healing arise naturally. Many practitioners describe it as feeling vast and light. Problems still exist, yet they no longer define them. Paramahansa Yogananda called the breath the sacred chord between human and divine consciousness. When breath slows, time itself seems to stretch. You age less, think clearly, and live more fully. He named Kriya Yoga the science of energy and God perception, a direct path to inner balance. Real stories and experiences. A young woman once came to Yogananda trembling with fear. Doctors gave her medicines, but peace never stayed. He asked her to sit, close her eyes, and breathe with him. Minutes passed, and tears turned to silence. She said softly, "It feels like a heavy stone has vanished from my chest." Yogananda smiled. "Nothing left you, only your own breath returned home." Modern studies echo that ancient moment. At Stanford University, patients who practiced slow rhythmic breathing for 4 weeks showed 40% lower stress hormones. At AIMS Delhi, regular Kriya practitioners displayed higher heart rate variability, a measure of resilience. Science now confirms what yogis felt in their hearts: the deeper mechanism of healing. Every breath carries an electrical impulse through the vagus nerve, the great messenger between brain and body. When breath becomes calm, this nerve signals safety to every organ. The heart slows, digestion resumes, muscles loosen. You feel peace not because life changed, but because biology remembered balance. The rhythm of Kriya creates coherence, a harmony between heartbeat and breath. It synchronizes brain hemispheres, allowing reason and emotion to work together. In this harmony lies mental clarity. Neuroscientists describe it as entering the rest and repair state. Mystics call it touching the soul. Both speak of the same moment when breath, mind, and life move as one. Simple daily practice. You do not need temples or incense. Find a quiet space, straighten your spine, and close your eyes. Inhale to the count of 4. Hold for 2. Exhale for 6. Let the exhale be longer than the inhale. That is the secret of calm. Do this for 10 minutes daily. If thoughts arise, smile and return to the breath. You are not fighting the mind, you are befriending it. After 21 days, most people notice subtle changes. Reactions soften. Sleep becomes deeper. The distance between stimulus and response widens, and inside that space, peace appears. If you wish to advance, seek guidance from a teacher of Kriya, but always approach with humility. Breath is sacred fire. If handled with love, it warms. If forced, it burns. Science meets spirit. Neuroscience today reveals that 10 minutes of controlled breathing can lower cortisol by 1/4 and increase dopamine by nearly 20%. Such numbers translate into better mood, clearer memory, and stronger immunity. But Kriya Yoga says the same in another language. As you breathe slower, prana flows inward, healing hidden wounds. The mind becomes transparent like still water. In that mirror, truth reflects itself. Scientists measure data. Yogis taste silence. They speak differently but walk the same road toward peace. Every breath you take is a conversation between your body and eternity, integrating Kriya into daily life. You can live this practice in the middle of the world. In the morning, before the noise begins, sit quietly for 10 conscious breaths. Let the cool air touch your nose. Feel the warmth as you release it. That small ritual is armor for the day. During work, pause before reacting. Take one slow breath and remind yourself, I am not my thoughts. I am the space behind them. That one pause can stop an argument, transform anger into understanding, and restore compassion. At night, lie down and breathe softly. Let the weight of the day dissolve with each exhale. If you drift into sleep between breaths, your mind has learned surrender. The Masters said, "He who controls the breath controls time." This does not mean living forever. It means living consciously in each moment. Philosophy of breath and consciousness. Breath is the smallest unit of time you truly experience. When you forget to breathe consciously, you live on the surface of life, pulled by habit. When you breathe with awareness, you live in the present, the eternal now. Kriya Yoga calls this rhythm the wheel of life. Each breath completes a circle from birth to death and back again. To breathe consciously is to touch the timeless. In deep meditation, many practitioners describe feeling as if the breath breathes itself. At that point, the sense of separation fades. There is no breather, no breath, only awareness expanding endlessly. That is liberation, not in theory but in experience. Stories from the path. A businessman from Mumbai once shared that 10 minutes of Kriya every morning saved his marriage. He said, "Before, I reacted to everything. Now, I respond." His wife added, "We both learn to breathe before we speak." In another case, an American nurse practicing Kriya found her chronic insomnia vanish after 2 months. She described it not as magic, but as returning home to her own rhythm. Such stories repeat because the human nervous system obeys the same laws everywhere. Breath is the universal teacher. Karma and the mind. Every anxious thought leaves an imprint on the nervous system, a small groove of reaction. Over years, these grooves become personality, then destiny. Kriya Yoga slowly erases them. With each conscious exhale, you release not only carbon dioxide but stored emotion. Each inhale writes a new memory of peace. This is the true cleansing, not of sin, but of tension. When prana flows freely, the past loses its grip. You do not escape your life, you rediscover it without fear. Deepening stillness. In longer practice, the breath grows so fine, it almost disappears. Yogananda called this the breathless state. It is not death, but expansion. The body rests, yet awareness becomes vast and clear. In that state, joy arises without cause. Love flows without object. You realize peace was never missing. It was only buried under noise. This stillness becomes your natural home, a quiet center that stays even when the world moves. Final reflection. Peace will never come from changing the world. It begins with changing the rhythm of your own breath. Kriya Yoga is not escape. It is returning to life through silence. Practice for 10 minutes and you will feel relief. Practice for months and you will feel transformation. Practice for life and you will taste freedom. When you breathe today, remember that this air has traveled through centuries, from ancient mountains to you. It carries the same vitality, the same silence, the same promise. Breathe, and let it remind you who you truly are.